Days. All right, we are live. All right, everybody. Well, let me get the link tweeted out first. No one's in here, so let me get
Yeah,
this link tweeted out real quick.
go ahead, man. Bulls win. Bulls win.
Bulls win. So, for everybody that is going to be watching this at a later date, I'll start it off. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to just another year of Chicago Bulls. And this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Nick, this is my first Bulls live stream where they have won. So I
True.
am, yeah, I am thrilled to be a part of this live stream today. And the Bulls have won. Not only did they win, they absolutely desecrated the Brooklyn Nets, and that is huge for all the momentum moving forward. So yeah, we're gonna dive into it once again. I'm Justin Winteroff at J Wade Win on X. To my left or right, however you look at it, is Mr. Nick. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's just kind of start it off. Keep it brief. What are your thoughts on the game today, and what are going to be some things moving forward that are going to keep these wins coming, like this one?
Yeah. No, a huge win for sure against a young and I was talking with Tony. I'm like, I'm trying to think of if I could just rattle off the Nets players, and it was hard for me to do. So I know that they're rebuilding that roster quite a bit, but hey, man, I mean, we went into it. They had one more win than the Bulls. So I mean, even though it felt like we played a pretty bad team,
Similar records. Yeah, they had similar records.
That's a dub that you want to catch, and we did that. So yeah, man, Julian Phillips, this was his first game starting. He didn't have a great game at all. Yeah, that was tough to see. Vuč continues to shoot great from three. I mean, I think he's shooting like over 40% from three this year. So shout out to Vuč, because I know that weighed heavy on his mind from last year with how bad he shot.
Sure.
And he's commented on it so far this year. He's very Vuč about it. He's like, yeah, it's a lot nicer when they actually fall. Yes,
that's right.
Josh Giddey triple-double.
Yes,
that was really impressive, man. And I worry about. I don't know why sometimes when I see Giddey, he just sticks out to me like a sore thumb, and sometimes I just don't know if he knows what he's gonna do when he drives. But honestly, man, he's been looking incredible, and he just really was a catalyst for the offense. And and your boy Matas, man, I'll let you talk about your boy here, but that was the best takeaway, right? I mean, that was the main thing. Seeing him play 22 minutes, 20 points, I mean, incredible.
Yeah, no, couldn't have said it any better. This is definitely something that I have been advocating for pretty much since the beginning of the season, is that, Matas has got to get more minutes. And obviously, Nick, great segue, because this is what we're going to need to talk about. Matas needs to start. He needs to be starting in that five with Chicago Bulls. And I guess my question, really quick to you, to keep it brief if you can, because I got a lot to say. Why wasn't Matas getting more minutes from the get-go? Why do you think that was?
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I think, I mean, honestly, man, I think a lot of this comes down to ownership and how we're managed at Mark Eversley. I just feel like there's always just this disconnect of what the fans and other, I would say, basketball experts outside of Chicago know that perhaps maybe this should be a rebuild, or hey, maybe we should make a move, a trade, and try to make this roster better. Where in the Bulls locker room, it's no, we're competitors. We're ready to compete right now for a championship. It's like, well, what team are you looking at? So I think a lot of it is that hesitancy to develop our young guys and maybe take some L's because we think we're maybe more competitive than we are with our current roster at times. So that's just
Sure.
like, that's been a common theme. I think that would probably be the main reason. I mean, yeah, I just don't know if it's very much in our fabric as a franchise to like really, really take a risk and really play that young guy early with a lot of minutes. I mean, so.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you bring up, that it's a risk factor throwing in Matas, essentially into the fire so quickly. And that's just one thing that this organization hasn't been willing to do since drafting someone like Derrick Rose, So it's going to be very, very interesting. This is a game where Matas came out and he said, like, listen, like, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to average, 15 points a game for this organization. And at the end of the day, he is a lottery pick. Okay, this guy got drafted in that top 14 spot. So the expectations are, this guy's got to get minutes and he's got to really, go out there and show what he's got. So what he did tonight was great. I mean, it was literally picture perfect. And I wanted to discuss it a little bit more in depth. And this is another slide that should have been made that I didn't make in time. But man, and I know it's one game, right? But at this point, this is going to be a hot topic conversation moving forward. Is Matas more deserving of a starting spot on this team than Patrick Williams?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're talking at this snapshot in time, right now,
yeah.
I think it'd be hard not to say yes, right? But like, we had to there's so many other factors here where we have to, that we just paid P. Will, so I know that they want to look good on that front.
We sure did.
So, and that makes sense, but at some point we gotta face the music, dude, as a franchise and as an organization, and just look ourselves in the mirror and be like, the conventional way or the conservative way is not working for us right now. So
that's Chicago sports in a nutshell, too, isn't it? That's just Chicago sports all the way around.
100%, man.
Yeah.
And so while I love Chicago and I wouldn't change a thing about the city itself, this has been a theme in in a lot of these organizations, right? So I think P. Will has shown towards the end of last year, has shown that he has that potential to be a very solid 3-and-D guy in this league now.
He does.
But again, right? It's like when you waste a 4th overall pick on him, right? You just want to squeeze all that juice that you can. And at some point, again, the theme to me tonight is just like, when are you going to look yourself in the mirror and be like, we tried, or we got it wrong. We had to do something else. And we just don't seem to do that from a management standpoint. And so it doesn't surprise me in the least that it took this long to even get Matas the minutes that he needs. And I hope it continues to trend this way, but it might not even. I mean, we might, the next game. Let's see. If you want to filibuster here, I'm going to look up what their next they play, because it could be a case where he's not even going to see over 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I never know what's going to happen going into a game with his minutes.
Yeah, and Nick, you just gotten a fan here in McStoppy fan, I believe. Appreciates the comments, and there's got to be some accountability in the front office. I think that's a great point brought up there by yourself and our comment section here. That's something that's got to happen, and there's got to be some ideas in order to create a more aggressive team. And what we saw tonight was an aggressive team, and the reason for that was because Matas came out and he just decided to take over. And there's a moxie about him that you just can't teach, right? That is something that you just have, and he's got it. He's got that star quality. He's got that ability to just take over the game. And I think that it's just time for the Bulls to completely say, hey, like every time that he's got an opportunity, he's made the most of it. You can't give this kid 2 minutes a game and expect him to do anything with that. Basketball is all about rhythm. It's all about repetition, and it's all about, creating the space. When you're only out there for a couple minutes, it's not going to work. Look at Talon Horton Tucker. The last 3 games, he's averaged like 18 points. And the reason for that is because he's actually getting over 15 minutes a game. So look what happens when you give your guys over 15 minutes. They're going to produce, So going back to you, Nick, you said you were going to look up something here. So what do you got for us?
So the next game they play the Spurs, and the Spurs are a decent team, and they're over 500. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if Billy just kind of cowers and is like, no, we got to play, I'm going back to like a 7-man rotation or something. You know what I mean? And
sure.
But again, to your point, man, like we're seeing, and obviously Lonzo has been waiting forever, and we have been waiting forever to see Lonzo back on the court. But it's like we got a guy whose knee is being held together with super glue,
we got a Tesla knee.
Getting 18 minutes. He's got the Tesla knee, and he's getting 18 minutes. It's like, can't we give our lottery pick some time too? So,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's really all I was going to add. I mean, that I think is a microcosm of like what, where we're at with managing minutes and developing young players,
Yeah, no. And then that's, like that's all that really needs to be said is that we have a lottery pick. Let's get him some freaking minutes and let's kind of just see what happens. Right. So yeah, great. Now moving on to, hold on. I got to show you this comment. McStabby said, yeah, inject me that THT. Hell yeah. I've been saying for a minute that THT has got to start getting some more minutes. So I appreciate you commenting on the stream. McStabby fan, if I'm saying that correctly, appreciate it a lot, man. Moving on to our next topic here. I think this one is also pretty controversial, what we're going to discuss next. And it kind of ties into us playing the Spurs, our next game. Is Vučević an all-star, man?
Oh.
He's having a great year.
He's playing phenomenal, man.
Dude, he's having such a great year.
It's so hard to It's really hard. It's hard for me to just be like, yes, he's an all-star. Like it feels like a naughty thing for me to even say as a Bulls fan over just the past couple of years with the trade and everything. When you take all of it into account, but if we're just looking at his numbers, man, this year, like he could be.
The numbers don't do him justice because here's what I got pulled up. It's looking like about 21 points a game, which is 35th in the NBA. But you think about it, like that's 30. Like you're one of the top 35 scorers in the NBA. I mean, that's awesome.
And positionally too. I wonder where he's lining up with the centers.
Right. Yeah. I think he's definitely up there. That would involve. Maybe Tony can dive into that and we'll talk about it. The real question is going to be, okay, what's going to happen when he gets up against someone like Wemby? I mean, when they play the Spurs, if he can do what he did like tonight, which was like a 23-10 performance against Wembanyama, then he's earned it, But he's averaging 10 boards a game. That's 13th overall. And I think these are great stats, and I definitely think if he continues, he will be not a starter, obviously. Like that's definitely way too far fetched, but he'll make the All-Star team. I think that's pretty damn fair to assume. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think you might, man. So yeah, I mean, 21 a game. That's technically that's deserving, and he's a double machine.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting 40-some% from three. I mean, yeah, that's you can't
beat that. You can't beat that. McStoppy with the rainbow threes are falling. That's right. He's kind of increased that arc. I noticed because a few years ago, even last year, it was really straightforward. It was just a straight dart to the hoop, and now it's got a little bit more arc on it. So That might have helped them. Moving on, we've kind of discussed the offense a little bit. Oh, mixtape fan. That makes a lot more sense. That was Tony that let us know that, so I appreciate it, Tony. Mixtape fan. That's hilarious. Moving on. Let's kind of discuss a little bit more. We've kind of briefly gone over everything offensively, but no Coby, no problem. Bulls were electric from 3 tonight. We had a total of, let's go 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 15, 16 threes tonight. And that was without Coby White. So obviously Matas was 4 for 5 from 3 tonight. And then Zach did pretty well behind the arc as well. So is this something that you think Billy Donovan drew up? Or is this something that you think the team was like, you know what, let's just turn up even though Coby's not here?
Yeah, I think it was a matter of guys stepping up. And and the Nets playing a pretty bad defensive game. But yeah, I mean, certainly if I'm Coby right now, I'm thinking, wait, do they not need me? What's going on here? Because they had 30 assists, which is it's only the 10th time they've had that many assists in a game. They're shooting 50% from the field.
Yeah.
But 10th game with at least 30 assists and shooting 50% from the field and hitting 16 threes.
Can't beat that.
If you were just to tell me that and not tell me anything else about the context of the game, I would think Coby was a big part of that.
I know, right? I would have definitely made the same assumption because he's been doing so well this year. And, I think anybody who is a Chicago Bulls fan is a Coby White fan. I mean, he has been it's gotten to the point where last year I was kind of sitting there saying, all right, like we can include Coby in a trade and I'd be okay with that, to now where I'm like, dude, like I really don't want Coby White going anywhere because he brings so much shooting depth and he is, going to get you about 4 to 5 assists and rebounds a game. So he is putting up fantastic numbers. Huge Coby White fan through and through. So glad he's on our team. And then I really wanted to discuss this briefly. Julian Phillips gets thrown into the starting lineup tonight. Okay, I appreciate the thought. I mean, Billy Donovan clearly sees something in Julian Phillips that everyone else doesn't, I'm assuming, I guess. But he went 0 for 4 from 3, 5 boards, 5 points tonight. So I don't have much to say on him. Do you have anything to add on Julian Phillips and what you think his ceiling is for this year?
I still haven't figured him out yet. I do like the presence that he brings on defense, but it's like how many more draft picks are we gonna be like, well, he's a beast defensively, but it's like he hasn't learned how to shoot yet. It's like, well, what are we doing here, man? This is the NBA. Like I get that there's these other whether it's intangibles or tangibles that make a huge difference in a game, but it's like, can we just get a guy that can that can either create his own shot or just pull up 3, catch and shoot 3? It's like I don't know. I don't know why we have to get these such unconventional type players. And again, that's no knock on him. I think like I said, I still don't know what his ceiling is, but the floor is pretty low.
All right. Well, we'll see. I agree with your take, though. I mean, he's a defensive, asset for the Bulls. I think that he got the start in place of Patrick Williams tonight. I don't know if that's completely accurate or not, but I think that defensively he's huge. But what I'm really concerned about is that Billy Donovan has this really old school mentality, like, oh, I gotta have a old school defender in this lineup in order for the Bulls in order for us to win the game. Well, hey, that hasn't really worked much. The only time the Bulls have won, and it's been clear that they've won, is when Patrick Williams is actually scoring, not, really playing the best defense, is when Patrick Williams is scoring. So, Billy Donovan's stuck in that mindset. But another bright spot for tonight, Josh Giddey, man, first triple-double as a Chicago Bull.
I think this could be a start. I feel like it took him a while to, and I don't know. Sometimes, like I said at the beginning, sometimes it still feels like he's not fully found his flow in the offense. But as an individual, I mean, the dude knows how to create shots, and he knows how to get his teammates open.
Sure.
And so, you know, I think now that he's gotten this rapport with the teammates, you know, from a chemistry standpoint, it seems to be a little bit better. Not as awkward, not as odd man out. Then, you know, the talent's going to shine through. And so I think, you know, pending there aren't a ton of lineup changes and he's able to catch a rhythm and this and that, the cohesion's there. If that's there, I think he's gonna do this quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's exactly true. 12th career triple-double for Josh Giddey. And yeah, that's the first one for him in a Chicago Bulls uniform. And I think there's going to be many, many more, hopefully with his tenure with the Bulls. If that happens, I would be happy. I like his role in this offense. He's really becoming a creator as opposed to a score first kind of guy. He's creating opportunities, and he knows exactly what to do with the ball. Now, his game is not flashy, as we know. He's extremely fundamental. You know, what are you going to do about that? I mean, I think it's an old school style of play, and we have an old school coach. I think it all kind of works together. I'm excited to see, with maybe towards the midway of the season, how he's going to be utilized in this offense, and if he's going to be able to contribute more offensively, as opposed to, you know, getting that 10 to 12 point every game. I'd like to see him maybe get a 20-point triple-double performance and see what kind of confidence that brings him. So I'm really excited for Mr. Josh Giddey. And, you know, really, there's only one person that this can go to, offensive player of the game in my eyes, is Matas, man. Give it to Matas.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to give it to him. I know technically, you know, Giddey with the triple double is you know, I guess objectively more impressive, but just from an efficiency standpoint, I mean, Giddey was still 1 for 8 from 3. He can't figure out that 3 ball. Not to take away from everything else. 20 points, 11 assists, 13 rebounds. I mean, that's a hell of a stat sheet.
Yeah.
But Matas 7 for 10 from the field and 4 for 5 from 3. So that's an out of body experience. I mean, that's
it is.
20 points on just about as efficient as you can get. I'd love to give him the crown.
Yeah, shout out to Matas. And shout out to the Chicago Bulls. You know, everyone watching or who is going to watch us down the line or watching us now, please like and subscribe to the YouTube. Please follow us on X. Everything is appreciated. We would love to continue to give out content and just discuss the Chicago Bulls with you. It's something that we love to do. So please like and subscribe, and then comment down below anything that's on your mind with the Chicago Bulls. We will always mention it and get to you as soon as we can with everything. I would love to, again, talk about this forever and always. So keep it coming. One last topic before we call it a night. Let's just simply build on this. Okay. This isn't a game where you can say, all right, cool, we won. Like, let's, you know, whatever. Like we're proving that we're not, you know, garbage. This is a game that you need to take and build on, right? This is something that needs to continue. You need to win another game and then another game, and we call that a streak. We need to go on some kind of run here, and we need to make ourselves look like a legitimate contender and a legitimate team in the Eastern Conference. So we got to build on this. We are not 500 just yet, but we're very close. We're going to be going into San Antonio, and I think that's going to be a huge, huge game for us. And we really need to see what we can do to stop Wembanyama. And also, we're going to be seeing Chris Paul going up against his former coach in Billy Donovan. Is there going to be some tricks that are going to be played on the Bulls' end? Is Chris Paul going to take advantage of us? What are we going to see in that game? Who knows? But, anything else, Nick, that you'd like to add on this amazing win that the Bulls had tonight and what we can expect kind of moving forward and what needs to be done?
Let's keep building on the young Bulls, man. Let's get the young Bulls in.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean that literally.
That's right.
The young Bulls players.
Sure.
And let them ball out, man. I know we gave Julian a shot there, but let's take his performance accordingly, and move on and do the same with Matas, which means minutes. So let's build on the young Bulls. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I love that. Yeah, and let's give THT a start. Okay, let's give THT a start. All right, let's do it. So Tony, quickly, he texted me a beautiful stat here: 100th all-time win over the Nets tonight. Sir. Wow, that is some deep diving stuff. Tony, thank you so much for that. That's excellent. So, wow, I think that's honestly as good as a championship with me. I'll take that.
Season's over.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this live stream of the Chicago Bulls absolute demolition of the Brooklyn Nets. 100th total win against Brooklyn. Now, it was New Jersey, whatever. Thank you all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I am Justin Winteroth, and then to my left is
Nick Barr, baby.
Nick Barr. You're the man. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a wonderful night. See Red.
Yes.